Thank you for tuning into the Sisters Talk podcast. My name is Danny M, and I'm your host today. And I have the pleasure of having special guest, Kwavi. Can you pronounce your last name for the audience?
Yes, Agbe.
Akbe. Did I say it
Yes.
right? Oh, I'm excited about that.
Yay.
All right. So a lot of you guys know why we're here today. We're here to talk about what we've been doing while we've been living in the pandemic. And I think eating was like the number one culprit, right?
Yes.
You can't fit in those jeans anymore. I'm pretty sure it's because we've been gorging, right? More so than not. A lot of us are working from home still. A lot of us are just finding a lot of ease and comfort in being able to stay in bed and just type on our computers, right?
Yes.
Get up and eat, go to the refrigerator whenever we want.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think you're going to be the person to tell us what healthy choices to make when we're going inside of the refrigerator, right?
Yes. It kind of reminds me of a meme I saw where someone was by the refrigerator and they had the TLC song in the background. It's me again. Woo! It's like I'm constantly going to the refrigerator or the pantry to get stuff. So a little bit about myself. So I am a weight loss coach. So this is my jam. I love this. I love helping women understand why they're overeating. And for me, I like to use the term overeating as opposed to trying to lose weight, because you can lose weight in a number of ways, but understanding why you're overeating is the key.
Mm-hmm.
So for a lot of us during this pandemic, it's a time of uncertainty. So we're like, not sure what's going on. A lot of us are in a state of panic. Some of us have lost jobs. Some of us have jobs, but the hours are now uncertain. And really, it's just easy to go for food as comfort. Some of us are doing it for boredom, because we're bored, because we're used to on-the-go movement. I'll give myself as an example. Yeah. I can remember last time I had evenings free. Both of my boys play soccer, so we're constantly on the go. And I know for a lot of parents, they feel the same way. They have kids going, and all of a sudden, you
it came to a screeching halt, like the world.
No warning.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
Like literally, we can say the world stopped.
Really, exactly. Yeah. It's like, it's not just everyone stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone stopped.
Mm-hmm. Very good point. So let me ask you a little bit more about you. Where are you from originally?
Okay, so I'm originally from Nigeria, born in England, spent middle and high school in Nigeria, then went back to England for college, and after college, I moved to the States.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, what got you interested in becoming a weight loss coach?
Okay.
Out of all the things that you could be, because I'm going to ask you something else. I'm going to ask you, are you naturally skinny?
Okay, yeah, I know people was like, okay, so let me back up. So I'm 52 years old.
Oh, wow.
So, and I say that because my journey started when I was 19.
She says that to brag, guys. She's like, she looks better than some 25-year-old.
No, I say this to put the story in context. And also to let you guys know that I'm really old. So when I was 19, I was in England. I was in college, and I watched a documentary. And the documentary was about cattle. And I remember watching that documentary. I'm like, ooh, is that how food gets to our table? And it was, the conditions, deplorable. Mm-hmm. So I made the decision there and then. I said, I'm not going to eat meat anymore. But then it went into meat, chicken. I started investigating everything that we put into our mouths. I started looking at sodas and fizzy drinks, everything. I started investigating, and then I started reading labels. So this was me just discovering this on my own. But what I found out that was, as soon as I started changing my diet, I started to look a little different. Mm-hmm. And when you go to college, they call it the freshman 15. So I had that. So I wasn't like overweight, but you kind of fill in,
Yeah.
And then your cheeks kind of get a little rounder. But then everything kind of changed. And people are like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, no, I just changed a few things. And like, oh, tell me. So I'd start to get a little meal plans, like do this and this, don't eat this, make sure you read the labels. And that's what started me. But I was in college for computer science. So it wasn't like I was going to now become I didn't even think there was even a career in that. That was just fun I did. So I kept on my path of computer science. And then 10 years ago, I started, the company, and that's what I'm reading ever since. I realized that you can make a career out of this.
Oh, and absolutely.
I didn't know that back then. And it's so much fun for me because I love to see how women are able to figure out That's what it is. Because I tell people it's not enough to tell people what to eat. You actually have to understand why they're overeating. And when they get it, it's like done. It's good.
Exactly. I like the way that you said we have to find out why. The why
Yeah.
are we
Oh,
doing?
goodness. You have to.
Yeah, you have to find the why in your behavior. It's a behavior.
Yes, it
That's
is.
what I pick up from what you just said to me. Because I myself, I don't think about it. I'm like, I want a donut. But I'm not thinking why I
Yes,
want the donut. Right?
exactly. And
Yeah.
that brings me to the other question. I ask all my clients every single time before they put anything into their mouth, they have to ask themselves, am I really hungry?
Right. That's a good question to ask. Half the time it's no. Sometimes it's that we're thirsty and we don't need
Yeah.
food. We want more
Yeah.
water.
And sometimes you might be hungry, but the question is, if you ask yourself over and over again, you get to know when and when you're not.
Wow. So guys, what that means to me is we have to start thinking. Sorry.
Oh goodness, you hit the nail on the head. We don't, but see, that's what it is though. We've almost taken eating to like brushing our teeth. You know, we brush our teeth, we don't really think about it. That's what we're
Yeah.
doing. It's just like a unconscious. We're like, okay, we eat this, we eat that. We don't even ask a question. We don't even pause. We just do it.
Yeah, that's so true. And I think a lot of us, especially, I'm sorry guys, but in America, we overeat every day.
Oh my
We
goodness,
do. I do it myself. I could be
we do.
probably 20 pounds lighter if I would just stop. I call it gorging because a lot of times I'm not hungry and I'll eat more than what I'm supposed to eat. And then I'm like, oh, I'm so sleepy. I'm sleepy
Yes.
because my body's working so hard to break down the food, all the over processed food that just entered my body. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I noticed you said earlier, you read like the labels, you pay attention
Yes.
to what's going inside.
Yeah. And I like to, because I always tell people low fat, because I look at low fat foods and processed food. I look at them as areas where people overeat.
Mhm.
So low fat foods, I like to compare them to, I call the low fat foods temporary employees.
Mhm.
Like they go into your bodies. It's like, you hire temporary employees to do a certain job.
Yeah.
You do the low fat foods because you think, okay, it's going to help you lose weight. They do the certain things. But the problem is you can't live on low fat foods forever. You know what
Right.
I mean? It's just not
There's
possible.
no substance. Yeah, substance.
Yeah. And a lot of them, they say low fat, but what are they using to replace the low fat? Sometimes they put a lot
Mhm.
of sugar to
True.
replace it because they've taken out the flavor from it
Mhm.
and they have to replace it with something else.
Yeah.
And so low fat foods, and then you have the processed foods where we know is like I call those ones the lazy employees. They're there,
Yeah.
they're not really doing anything. They're kind of like, oh, you know what, they're there. You hire them, and then you realize over time, like, you know what, they got to go. That's
Yeah.
processed food. It's like, okay, you're eating them. All of a sudden, they do nothing for you. They go into your body, they do nothing. You might just like the taste.
Yeah.
Then they don't really perform what they're supposed to do when they go into your body. So I look at those two as areas that people can reduce, and even if they can reduce them to the bare minimum where it's just
Yes.
occasionally you're having them, and that's more okay, I have a little bit. And when you have them where you've already measured the amount you're having them, because it's
Mhm.
so easy to overeat on processed foods and the low fat foods.
Yes.
And the upside of that is weight gain,
Mhm.
you know.
Mhm. Mhm. That's a very good point. I think measurements are definitely key, especially with me living in Texas, where everything is
I
big.
know.
Every
Yes.
portion on my plate is large. We definitely eat like in one meal. It probably could be separated in three.
Oh yeah.
To be
Oh
honest. To be
yes.
honest.
Yes.
And I think some people eat more than others here, obviously, and our intake of meat is like,
But your body gets used to that. That's the issue. And what I try to do for my clients, it's like I'm retraining their brain to make them realize that it's enough, because you see that food on your plate and you need to stop because you know you're okay. But then your brain's telling you, oh, come on now, you have to finish it on your plate. And
yeah,
sometimes from childhood, where we've been told growing up, you have to finish the food on your plate. So that
yeah,
programming sometimes plays a role in how we act with food when we get older.
absolutely. I agree. So I have a question. What would be your advice to people who want to limit their meat intake, but for some people it's harder for some than others?
Of course.
What would be a good replacement? Give me an example replacement meal if you like,
Yeah.
for people who constantly eat chicken, beef, all the different types of meat daily.
Yeah.
What
Mhm.
would be your advice to those people?
And okay, so this is one thing I do recommend when it comes to protein, because I am a vegetarian. However, my family, they're not. So I cook meat and chicken for them. And what I typically recommend, because protein is good. It's just the amount that we're eating that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I normally tell people, just cut down on the amount. And if you want something to replace it with that's protein, that's high in protein, beans are a good replacement.
Yes.
So you can use that as an option. And then it's okay to go without meat for a while. Like we do meatless Mondays at, in my household sometimes.
Give me an example though, like what would be your meal on meatless Monday?
Okay, it could be, I could do quinoa, and I could add a lot of vegetables in it. So it's almost like a paella.
Yes.
But
I love that. Yeah.
But it's full of vegetables. So
but guess what I added my paella? I add shrimp.
Oh yeah, that's fine. But see, that's the thing. But you could replace that with just lots of vegetables. And for me, my go-to meat source type is portobello mushroom, because it has that flavor. It has the flavor, and it's chunky.
And it's like a meaty texture almost.
Yeah, it has that texture. So you have a lot of that, have a lot of vegetables. And the thing is, it's filling. It's like something, oh no, I need it. You don't always have to have meat to feel
It's
full.
true, we don't. I think it's that our brains, our bodies are used to it. So it's like our bodies or our mind is saying, you want that, I want it, I need it to feel full. That's what we're
That's what it is. You need it to feel full, but you really don't. And when you try it out, you're like, oh, it's really possible. But most of us don't even give it a chance.
Right. Yeah. So for people who are on a weight loss journey specifically, there's a lot of different products that are hitting the lines. If you've noticed, like NutriBurst, I believe, Nutrilite. There's like different brands and things like that. What would be your advice for those who are taking? Because I have a few friends of mine that are taking these supplements. What's your advice? Have you heard of these?
No, I haven't. And I'll be honest with you, when I work with my clients, I typically tell them I don't advocate for any particular brand. What I'm trying to get my clients to do is understand the relationship with food. So whether they are on keto, paleo, whatever plan they're on, I try to get them to understand that the best way that's sustainable long-term is to be able to eat whatever they can, like whole foods, in other words, not processed food, but be able to understand their relationship with it, where if they're eating, they know, okay, you know what, I've had enough. Because I can tell you this, for every single person that is overweight, if they understand the relationship they have with food and only eat when they're hungry and stop just before they get full, they'll see a big difference.
Yes. But no, that's easy to say if we're on the go and we're living our normal lives. What about the fact that a lot of us have been indoors for the last 60 days or plus? What would be your advice to those people who have children that are working from home, that are having to cook, clean, do all the stuff that they were doing before, but the only difference is now I can't leave home?
Right. So what I recommend is, the two things I typically tell my clients. The first thing is you have to plan your meals. Even if you're not going out, I tell my clients, plan your meals like you are going out. Like plan your meals that you did when you were working. Because if you don't plan your meals, and I tell them to plan it at least 24 hours ahead of time. You can't plan your meals the day of. Right. Most times I say a week ahead.
It never works for me.
At least 24 hours. Because there's a difference when you plan your meals and you're eating it as opposed to just like, okay, what am I going to eat? What am I going to eat? Exactly. And once you're hungry, it's too late.
Then you're going to fast food.
Panera Bread keep calling me.
I'm telling you, it's so easy.
Like, I need it. And your brain is like, food. And it doesn't matter what it is. You're like, give it to me.
Exactly.
And you're eating it so quickly that you don't even let it digest. It's like you're eating so much, you can't even be able to understand or figure out, am I full yet? No, you're just eating away.
Exactly.
So planning, my clients know this. I tell them all the time. I don't care if you're working in the home, outside the home, plan your meals. And at least 24 hours ahead of time.
It's interesting you say that. Oh, keep going.
The second one that's really key is write down what you're eating. The thing is, when we don't write down what we're eating, we don't know. Like sometimes I'll ask my clients, I'm like, so what do you typically eat? Like when I first start with them, I normally have like an intake interview and I tell them, I ask them, what do you eat normally? And they'd say things like, well, I really don't eat that much. I'm not sure why I've gained weight. And I say, okay, stop right there. Let's do this. For 7 days, I want you to write down exactly that, anything that goes into your mouth. I don't care what it is. If it's a piece of gum, you're tasting your child's food, doesn't matter. Write it down. And they always come back very surprised at the amount that they're eating, because when you don't write things down, you don't realize, the little piece that you took there, and then you realize that you eat frequently.
Yes. An even better example for them would be make them take a screen capture of everything they're about to put in their mouth.
Yeah. I'm like,
in one day.
Yeah. Some of them do that. I'm like, you will be amazed at the amount of food. And they're like, oh my goodness. And I do this not to like embarrass them. Do this so that they have a baseline, because you can't move forward or progress how you're doing if you don't have a baseline to work.
You don't have a reference point. Yeah, absolutely.
That's it. And then you see that they see the changes where most of my clients, we practice. One of the things I talk about is intermittent fasting. So a lot of my clients practice that. Most of them are on 2 meals a day, and they're not hungry.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that actually. So there's been a couple of days that I've gone by, and I'm like, I'm only eating once a day with like a snack here and there, and I'm okay. But the old me would never like.
Thank you. I'm still. See, our bodies are not designed where we have to constantly eat. But I think we've been programmed. Like for instance, I tell my clients, when you wake up in the morning and you're not hungry, I tell them, do not eat.
Yes.
Not eat breakfast. Right. I know they say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but guess what? It's any meal you have after you wake up. It doesn't have to be in the morning. It could be at 12, it could be at 1, it could be at 2.
Yes. And it doesn't have to be pancakes, eggs, and sausage or whatever. It's so funny that they programmed a lot of people to believe there's a certain meal that you have to eat in the morning, a certain meal you eat at lunch. I mean, that's not the case.
It's not the case. You can have a salad in the morning if you wanted to.
I did that.
They do that.
I did that, and people thought I was crazy at work. I mean, that's just what my body wanted. I wanted that. Maybe I needed it even. I don't know.
That's it. And the other thing I tell my clients, and for anyone that's trying to, get healthier, you're going to have to realize that you're going to be in the minority. Most of them are going to be looking at you, you're crazy. And I tell my clients, get ready for that. It's okay. Because you are doing something that's good for you, and your future self is going to thank you.
Oh, for sure. Yes. Miss 52 and looking fabulous, okay? I'm just saying, because what people don't understand is that the body, you tell me if I'm wrong, I'm not a doctor. I am not a doctor, letting you guys know. But my understanding is that what we eat fuels our body, regenerates our cells in a certain way. If you're getting more vegetables, then your cellular reconstruction is going to be faster than a person who doesn't consume a lot of vegetables.
I love what you said. And I love that you said the fuel food, because that brings me to the other thing I talk about, where whenever you put anything into your mouth, it falls into 4 categories. It's either you're fueling your body. So I call that the fuel food. You have joy food, where you're just eating just because it's something you really enjoy. We have the fog eating, where you're eating and you're almost like if you're watching a football game and you have a bag of chips, and all of a sudden it's like you see the bag is empty. You're like, how'd that happen?
Yeah.
You ate it, but you were completely unaware. So that's another way of eating. And then you have the storm eating, where that's normally emotional. It could be rage, it could be loneliness, it could be boredom, it could be entertainment. And you know that you're not supposed to be doing it anyway, but you're like, and you've seen it in movies where you'll see maybe a woman has a breakup and then she has a big tub of ice cream and she just eating the ice cream, and she knows. And at the end of it, she feels really bad about the situation. So whenever you put anything into your mouth when you're eating, it's going to fall into one of those 4 categories. And the fuel food that you mentioned is the most important one. And we should be eating at least 80% of the time.
Good. So the other 20%, I can do what I want. As long as I'm getting 80% good.
Well, let's do this then. So
that's how they took it. That's how the audience took it.
So in the beginning, 80, but you want to kind of up that to like 90 eventually. But 80 in the beginning, for sure.
Okay, you're so good. It's gonna take me a long time to get there. Okay.
No, you're gonna surprise yourself.
Thank you. I need that.
You will surprise yourself.
I want to surprise myself. I want to say something too about how, we mentioned that food is fuel. We have to think about these diseases that are out there, like Alzheimer's, diabetes, cardiovascular disease. Things
high
like
blood
that.
pressure, osteoporosis. I mean, they're all out there, cardiovascular diseases. And for us, at least for people my age, listen, once you hit over 45, you really need to be paying attention to your health, because you're more susceptible because of your age. And then if your health isn't on par, it's like you're fighting a losing battle. So why don't you try now to take those steps? My husband is a physician, so he used to have a practice, and I'd see it all the time. People would come in with these bags of medication. We can prevent that. We have a choice to prevent from getting to that point where we're using medication to take care of our health. We can reverse that. Or
at least
crazy. Stop it,
Yeah. So what's your take? Do you think that eating a healthier portion in addition to eating healthier food choices will eliminate the possibility, or do you think some of these diseases are just inevitable?
Well, okay, I'll give you an example. Some of them are, like, for instance, I have high blood pressure. I've had it since I was in my 20s, and that's hereditary. So there are some that will happen. But the thing is, the bottom line is, if I don't take care of my health, it would be worse than the way it is, even though I already have high. So any step you can take can make a difference. Even if you already have it, it can make it lower. Or it could even be a situation where you don't have it and you could prevent it altogether.
Okay.
So it always makes a difference. Always.
Let me ask you, there was a video I was watching before we started this interview, and it was something called Kamichi tea or Kamicha. Have you ever heard of it?
Kimchi?
Kimchi, I believe,
Yeah,
maybe.
kimchi. Korean food?
No, it's sorry, not kimchi then. It's a tea. It's almost like a fungal mushroom, like fermented.
Oh, really? Okay, from mushroom.
Fermented tea.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it's something. I don't know the exact term, but it's like fermented tea, and supposedly that's supposed to be a great weight loss supplement.
But it's interesting because it's probably formed from the same name as kimchi, because kimchi is fermented vegetables that Koreans eat.
It probably is.
So it's probably in that same family.
Yeah.
So it's probably something similar. But yes, fermented food is amazing for our bodies. It does the same thing as probiotics. You know,
yeah,
so
but it has a yeast, right? A bacterial yeast in it. That's what scared me, because I was like, whoa.
No.
I don't want that.
That's good for the body. Yeah, it is.
Okay, all right. I was just curious about that.
You're on it, girl.
Look, I try to like find out about these things because, hey, I'm the donut eater over here, but I've really reduced my number of donuts. It's so funny because I used to date this guy who told me that if I didn't stop eating donuts, he would stop dating me, because he literally, all he ate, his diet was just salads. I don't know how he survived. I mean, maybe every now and then it was a little deviation, but mostly he just absorbed veggies, salad, and that's it.
Wow.
I was shocked. He was from the Fulani tribe.
It was from the where?
Fulani.
Oh, really? Interesting. Oh my goodness.
It was so funny because he was just looking at me like, why do you American people eat this stuff like all the time? You know, he was just being honest, you know?
No, but you don't think it's a cultural thing though?
Because yeah, for sure.
I've traveled to like Asian countries, even in Europe, and the amount of food we consume in this country,
it's a lot.
It's way more than any other country I've been to. So
yeah, we need to be a little more grateful, because how I try to tell my children is that, hey, there's some kids out here that don't even get a meal. And so why are you throwing? I get mad when I see them throwing away. Just put it up for later. It's okay to put it away. Like you said earlier, you said a lot of people there from childhood, people tell them, or their moms and dads,
have to eat all the food.
Yeah, but instead of forcing you to eat everything, how about just put half away for later?
Exactly. And that's what I'm trying to tell the women I work with who have kids. Let's train them differently from the way we grew up, where we were told, oh, you have to finish the food on your plate, because those habits are creating unhealthy habits as adults, for adults. So if we can train our children, okay, if this is too much, have half of it. And then if you want more, you can go get more, or you can keep it for later. You don't have to eat it all, because that is forcing us to ignore our hunger signals. Because we all have hunger signals where it tells us, okay, I'm full, I'm hungry. But when you constantly eat, ignoring that, after a while, you don't even hear the signals.
Wow. Ooh. Yeah. Gosh, okay. So can you tell us, how long have you been in the weight loss industry?
Oh, goodness. Okay. So like I said, I started when I was 19. And ever since then, I never really went back. I just didn't practice doing it. Right now, I've been in it 10 years, like for my own company.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. But it's just been a part of who I am since I was, and it's so funny because my friends who knew me back then, they're like, oh, I guess we should have listened to you then, because they thought I was crazy.
Yeah. And now look at you now. So I know you've gone on TV. So do you have an actual TV show?
No, I don't have a TV show, but I appear on TV regularly. There's a show I appear on regularly.
Yeah, I thought you had your own show. That's amazing.
That is the goal. Yeah.
That is pretty awesome. So have you done any weight loss coaching to anybody that's a celebrity or a public figure that we would know about? Or
not yet, but that's one of the things I'd love to do, to be able to help, because I really want to help everyone understand that their relationship with food is what shows up. That's how they show up in the world. And your health and wellness is the foundation for everything. So yes, the goal is to be able to get more people where I actually have someone in the public eye.
Yes.
And, coach them.
Got it. So any suggestions on how, there's some people out here that love sweets, right? And during the weight loss journey, being a sweet eater, some people are savory, some people are sweet.
That's
A
true.
sweet eater is going to struggle, I believe, more in that domain of weight loss in some ways, right? Because they're going to want to dump sugar in their drinks.
I think sugar, I think, first of all, it's really not the sugar. The sugar and the savory, I think both of them will struggle.
Okay.
Sugar a little bit more, just because when you get that dopamine hit in your brain, it's like, give me more.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to stop that. So you get that withdrawal. But I'll tell you this, a lot of people who are like gung-ho, like I have to have sugar, when they go through the process of elimination, they're amazed at themselves.
Really?
Yeah, because the thing is, when you go through the struggle, what I tell my clients is anticipate. So think of those obstacles that you're going to come across before you get there. And I kind of look at it as a ladder. So you have a ladder, you have the rungs of the ladder. This is where you want to get to, and you're at the bottom here. What are some of those obstacles as you're going along that you're going to overcome? And they always write it down. And when it happens, they feel, and sometimes, they fail.
Yeah.
But the thing I tell them is, when you fail, you're just on that rung. Don't go back down. Just stay there and take the next step up. And the thing is, their brain is going to tell them, I want this. I have to have this. And what I tell them to do sometimes is just to pause, because your brain is just telling you it wants it, because that's all your brain knows right now. Your brain just loves that hit. Like, you can have an apple, the apple isn't hitting it. It's like you want the sugar. It's like the brain is like, what are you doing? We normally have sugar at 8 p.m. Where's the sugar?
Do you, in addition to your meal planning, prepping services that you offer, do you also offer an exercise regime for your clients?
No, I don't. But what I normally tell my clients, is part of the things I recommend, but what I do first is, if a client comes in and has been exercising, then I tell them to continue. If a client comes in and has never exercised before, or isn't on one currently, I tell them, let's focus on the food part, because the nutrition is so important that even if you worked out all the time, you might not lose weight. And I have clients that are like that come in and like, oh, I exercise a lot and nothing is happening. I'm like, yeah, it has to do with your nutrition. Right. Some people exercise so that they can eat whatever they want to eat. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. I met a woman one time, this was years ago. We were in the gym and she says, I drink every day. She's like, and I exercise so that I can drink every day.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. And I look at exercise, I like people to look at exercise as a gift that you give to your body. Because if you look at it as a chore because you want to get something out of it, when it doesn't happen, you get resentful. Like, oh, I can't believe I'm working out all this while nothing is happening. Movement is a gift. I like to tell my clients, there'll come a time when you won't be able to do all this stuff. When you want to move your body, move it now. Be grateful that you can, and give your body the gift of movement for now.
That's something I tell myself every time before I run. I may not run every day, but right before I start, if I don't feel like it, I'm like, you know what? I'm so grateful that I have legs to run. I'm so grateful that I have the strength to run.
Thank you.
I'm so grateful I'm in my right mind so that I know I need to run. So these are things that we have to really think about.
Oh yeah, it makes a difference, because there's some people out there that want to do it and can't. I'm like, I know. I always tell my clients, I'm going to keep on exercises because the day has not come where I can't. So as long as I can, I'm going to go out there and enjoy it, because there'll come a time when I won't be able to.
That's right. All of us will reach that day one day. Yeah, absolutely. I like the fact that you said that. I know in addition to you being a weight loss coach, you also are a retreat specialist.
Oh yeah, I love retreats. Oh my goodness.
I'm thinking in my mind, if you have someone that's on a weight loss program and they finally get their bodies right, why not go ahead and use you for the retreat creation, opportunity.
I love the retreats. It's just amazing. I love it because it gives women a chance to be out there somewhere different. No spouse, no kids, no pets, no parents, no
freedom. Oh, freedom.
Nothing. I'm telling you, it's freedom. It's fun. I'll share a story with you. When we were in Bali, 2 of the ladies there had older kids. And it got to a point where the older kids called both of them to find out if everything was okay. Because they hadn't called in days. And typically these are moms that call daily. They're like, yes, Mom, are you okay? They were like, but they were having such a great time.
Right.
And even they said they were surprised at themselves because they couldn't remember the last time where they weren't calling their daughters. No,
yes.
We don't have that time.
Yeah, I think that's interesting that you say that because a lot of weight gain comes from stress, right? I
Oh yeah,
mean,
yes.
daily stress. I always
Daily
talk
stress.
about this. Almost every show, I talk about the fact that I live in Houston with tons and tons of traffic. We're waiting in line or in traffic for an hour to get to work. We go to work. We're sitting all day, most of us, and then we get back in our cars and we wait another hour
To
and a
get back
half maybe to get home. And it's like, and then what did you do in between that time? You sat, you ate, you went to the restroom, you probably ate again, and then you sat again, and now you're home to sit again. Yeah? So it's like, come
Oh
on.
yeah. Oh yeah. I love the retreats. It's just an amazing time for the women. And it's 7 days. So it's 7 days, 6 nights. I give them a packing list. I tell them everything that they're going to experience. And then as soon as they hit the airport, they're picked up and it's like, it's a whole new life.
Wow.
Private chef, if they want coffee, I always tell them what they like. If they like coffee in the morning, tea in the morning, they get that delivered to their room. It's just full on pampering.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I need some of that pampering. Can we eat whatever we want on this retreat?
Okay, so the thing is, because I plan the menu, but it's because, I have them in places where they use whole foods, like natural food. So actually all the clients that have been on the plan have never gained weight. And they were always wondering about that. But that's just because we're eating real food and then we're moving a lot. Like we go on different excursions. We'll take a yacht trip, we'll do caving, we'll go for long walks and hikes. So it's hard for you to gain weight when you're doing that. And then you're really having fun. You know what I mean? It makes a difference. You're not, like you said, you're not stressed out, you're laughing, we're dancing. It's just an amazing time.
Wow, that sounds amazing. I'm excited. So a good question for you is, since this COVID-19 has like literally ran across the earth, when are you planning to open back up those services, retreat services?
Yeah. So I was supposed to have one in Greece in October, but I've moved that one to next year. So so I'm not going to do any retreats for this year. Everything's going to be moved to 2021. Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. I guess because 2020 isn't safe, because we don't know.
And you don't know. And let's face it could open up towards the end of the year, but we don't know. But then because of the retreats that I plan, none of them are within the US. They're always outside, which means you have to get your tickets early and plan early. So rather than planning and not being sure, I'm like, let's just move to 2020.
That's smart. It makes sense. Can you tell people where they can find your weight loss coaching website information?
Yes.
I'm sure all the ladies especially are interested in this.
Yes. So my website is actually www.kwavi.com. And then you can just look for the tabs of programs and retreats and just click on those and you'll see the information about my weight loss programs or my retreats.
Awesome. So do you have any goals for this year in 2020 with your weight loss coaching company?
Yes. So one of the things I have started to do, because typically I do my programs in groups, but I've had a lot of people reach out and say, well, you know what? I don't want to keep waiting for when you have a program to begin to start off. So I do have a challenge called the 25-Day Soul Challenge, and Soul stands for Stop Overeating Lockdown Edition.
Wow.
And it's 3 to 5 minutes video or audio they get every day, and it gives them something that they have to do with regards to overeating to help them stop overeating. And I did that because most people said, well, the 8-week program that I do, it was outside of their budget. And then I had a one-on-one, which was even more expensive. And people are like, I really want to work with you. I said, okay, I'm going to create that. So I'm creating that. That's a 25-day challenge. And it starts at $57 if you do the pre-price, the early bird pricing, and then $97 if you decide to wait afterwards. But I'm excited about that because women have said to me they're busy. Yeah. They want something quick that they can listen to. I'm like, okay, 3 to 5 minutes per day for 25 days. Most people have that amount of time.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Make that time.
That's when I'm excited because that doesn't involve me in the process. They just listen to it on their own and they can join whenever. So that's one of my goals.
So you're doing an audio, just basically.
Audio and video.
Nice. Okay.
Yes.
Wow, look at you. That's pretty awesome.
Yes.
So do you have an app as well?
No, I don't have one yet. No.
Okay. Because it'd be good if you, let us know. Everybody that's following the Sister Stock page, they would love that because it's a great way. I mean, we have so much technology. I just think it makes it easier. We don't have any excuses, basically.
That's it. And I think that's why I did it. And that's why I made it short. I'm like, this is not going to take you more than 5 minutes to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you can find 5 minutes in your day. If you can't, then we need to talk.
Yeah, that means you're completely overloaded in your schedule.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so
and
much.
a lot of us are, to be honest. A lot of us are. But, you know, that life balance. And I think one of the major takeaways that I took away from this interview was the fact that you are making us think.
See,
you know?
It's important. And that's one of the things when I was looking for a program, when I started my coaching, I was like, I want to find a coaching program that involves using the brain. I just didn't want to be able to tell clients, okay, you can do this, this, and this. To me, that wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Because I do know that whatever you do, there's always a thought behind it. Your brain is involved in that process. You don't just eat. It's like you're not a robot that just goes to eat. There's some thinking behind it. And if we can figure out the why in that thinking, then we can change your behavior.
Mm-hmm. I agree. But I think a lot of us are robots, unfortunately. And I think I appreciate you for tapping into that reality and waking us up, right? Because we're mindlessly doing this.
Hey, it's so funny. Using words, I tell my clients all the time, like, you know what? You need to wake up from sleep. Wake up.
we have, including myself, in my early 20s and part of my late 20s. Oh my God. I ate whatever, however, whenever. It's all about timing too. Like nowadays, I cut off any food past 8 p.m. I try.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go, let's be honest. But back when I was 25, 26, I'm eating at like 10, 11, 12 a.m. is the next day. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, of course.
I'm eating heavy stuff. I'm eating pizza. I'm drinking alcohol.
But you know the strangest thing? You probably didn't even notice. It didn't show in your body because then your body's like, ooh, it's like, yeah.
Exactly. I better not do that now. Two kids later, I better not. So yeah, I mean, you look, again, I have to compliment you as well. You look great.
Thank you.
So if that's if reducing my meat intake, if that's where it'll get me, then let me start shortening my portion.
It makes a difference. I'm telling you, I think just generally watching what you eat makes a difference. I always say, because sometimes people tell me, oh, it's good genes. I'm like, listen, after 40, good genes thing doesn't work anymore. It's like, I don't care what kind of body you have, you have to work at it.
Yes.
You have to do the work. And so for me, I used to be a runner. I don't run anymore because my knees started hurting. So now I walk. I walk a lot. Like I'll do at least 5 miles a day and then 10 to 15 on the weekends.
Okay.
So just do what you can. You don't have to be out there like running marathons. You can walk. Everyone can walk. You know, I'm just saying you can do something.
That, yeah. Because a lot of us feel bad that we can't run marathons, right? We don't have the ability. So then but it discourages people sometimes, right?
Of course. That's why I made that point. It's not about that. Yeah. You can walk and increase, you'll be surprised at how you start to feel when you start walking regularly. You'll be like, oh.
It's funny you say that too, because you'll be surprised also. I know you know this already, but for the people that are listening, you know, you'd be surprised that when you change up little things, instead of eating those pancakes, sausage, and eggs, maybe you wake up and have a cup of hot tea, and then you follow it up with maybe two pieces of toast. Not to say that you want to kill yourself. Now, lunch, you may do a little bit heavier, have a salad, and maybe some protein and veggies. Now you're filled up for the rest of the day. And if you want to have dinner before 8 p.m., right? And don't let it be too heavy, because remember, you're sleeping on the food that you just ate. So you want to be kind to your body. When you're kind to your body, trust me, it's going to produce energy that you need.
Yeah, we need to be a bit kinder, because sometimes we are very harsh in the way we talk about to ourselves. Mm-hmm. You know, we need to be a bit more compassionate. Yeah. And I think through that, we can make more changes, because sometimes when we're not compassionate, we're like, oh, I'm done. I can't do, you know, it's like, I'm not good at this. And then we're almost like self-sabotage kicks in, and then we're like nothing. And then when you're in that space, you're not going to do anything.
I like that you said that we self-sabotage, because I do it myself. We see like, oh, I'm gaining weight here, or, oh, I see back fat, or, you know, and then you start thinking negative, and now you lowered your confidence, and now you don't want to go work out.
You don't work out. There's no way. I normally use this model in my program where it's called, you know, no matter the circumstances, because circumstances are at the top. So no matter the circumstance, you're going to think a certain way, but your thoughts about that circumstance are going to determine how you feel. Mm-hmm. And how you feel will determine your actions, and your actions will determine your results. So if you're in that feeling of, oh goodness, I can't do this, I'm no good. If you think that, you're going to be in a space where you're going to be almost like, okay, I can't do this. Mm-hmm. If you're in that space of you can't do this, there is no way you're going to pick up an apple or go running or go do something that will fuel you. You're not going to do that because you already feel you've lost the battle.
You've already made up your mind that you're not going to win. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
So we have to start thinking. We really have to change the way we start thinking about how we want to treat ourselves. And I know everyone that's listening to this wants to improve their health in some way, because we can all do that. So I know that. So we need to start thinking differently. And I don't care if you've failed in the past, doesn't matter. Come on, we fail at things all the time, but we still get up. We have kids. Those that are listening, don't you have kids? Sometimes you tell them the same thing 100 times, right? I still
very, very true. Yeah.
But you love them, you care for them, you give them a pass. You say it again. We don't do that with ourselves. We fail once, we're like, it's done. I can't do that. I can't lose weight. I'm like, why do you say that? You can't.
Yeah, that's a good point. We definitely have to condition ourselves in knowing that we can achieve the goals that we set.
Yes,
period.
You can achieve those goals. It will be hard, fine. But you've done hard things. Some of you have had babies. Come on, that's tough.
Oh, yes.
Some of them more than one time.
Yeah, that's what I said, a lot. Some of us have had a lot of babies. And it's not easy. The process is not easy in having the baby or healing from having the baby.
Yeah, and taking care of the babies is not easy.
Oh my! Come on, the 3 stages.
Ooh, it's never ending. Even as I speak to parents who have adult children, it's the same thing. You know.
And as much as I'm making facial expressions, we all love our kids, okay? But it's work.
And that's the point. That's the point I'm making. It's like, it's difficult, but you still do it. So we know weight loss is difficult, but you want to give up. Why? You know the benefit at the other end is amazing.
Absolutely. I love that point you just drove home. I felt that. That's true. And then because we love our kids, we have to love ourselves too. That's what.
That's it. That's
Dr. Kwavi is saying. Yes.
Yeah. We have to.
I get it. Yeah. And we don't do that enough, especially as women. We come down hard on ourselves, right?
Very hard.
We find everything that's wrong with us. We find everything. And we don't even think about the good things about us, right?
We don't. And I tell my clients all the time, listen, if you're going to do 50% negative, let's talk about the 50% positive that you have. Why do we just focus on that side? No. Come on now. Let's pay attention to the amazing things that you've done, the experience. You've raised kids, you have amazing jobs, you've done so many amazing things, but no, oh my goodness, look at my backside right here.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's such a vain way to look at life. We should start being more appreciative of ourselves.
Oh, yeah. First. And I know every single woman on here can think of something amazing that she's good at. I don't care doesn't matter your past. You can think of something that you can appreciate about yourself. So start thinking along those lines a bit more.
I love it. Oh, wow. I really want to thank you so much
for being
on our show. I thoroughly enjoyed this interview.
I enjoyed it too. It was so much fun.
I'm still craving a donut, but I'm going to go make a salad just because we talked. See, you just brought me one step closer to better health. Yes. You should be proud.
I'm so excited. I'm so happy to hear that.
And I definitely look forward to reconnecting with you so that I can learn a little bit more about your retreat. Information for 2021. Who knows? We may even go on a trip together one day. Do you ever go on the trips with the ladies as well?
With them, yeah, I'm with them.
Oh wow! Okay,
awesome. I organize the whole thing. Oh yeah. So when you're coaching in the morning, oh yeah.
Okay, awesome. So let everybody know what city you're in.
Yes, so I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, so look, we all know Atlanta is popping, right?
Yes, it is.
You never know. You may see her on your local television soon because she's always on TV. And I just want to thank you for allowing me to have time today with you to interview.
Appreciate it.
And before we go, please shout out again all your contact information so if someone wants to.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so I'm on Facebook under Kwavi TV. I'm on Instagram, Kwavi TV. My website is www.kwavi.com. And then I'm also on TikTok under Kwavi TV. Yes.
I forgot. I was like, oh, wow. But no, we talked about this. That's so awesome. And you enjoy
on YouTube too, actually. Kwavi TV too on YouTube. Yeah.
Okay.
But TikTok I enjoy being on that platform.
That's so funny. I'm going to have to get more engaged with TikTok. It's just a slow process with me. I don't know why. But so far, I've seen some really funny videos on there.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
All right. So I will not hold up any more of your time. I look forward again to talking with you.
Yes.
And you have a great day. And for everybody that's tuned in, thank you so much for tuning in to the Sisters Talk podcast We'll meet again next Sunday at 3 p.m. You guys have a blessed day.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Enjoyed the video you just watched? Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications.